So it's not often I come here when the water is still running. We just set the water a little bit longer than 3 minutes because of the hot climate temperature that's coming in the next couple of days. I think this year, because for the last previous years, my parents generally go back to Vietnam during the Vietnamese lunar calendar New Year. So for the last 2 years, they kind of been locked in and not being able to go anywhere. So hence they're here, and I can fix the irrigation system. So what started out was when I think 2017 or 16 or something, when I decided I just want to go and travel a whole heap. I set up the water system in order to manage the plant so that my mom and dad won't need to worry about it so much. This was on the other side. It costs a lot of money, by the way. This section here is what my parent has planted. So from the experience, what I started out, they carry on, and this whole section here is pretty much their doing, not mine. So here we're just growing like very polyculture, mixed variety of Vietnamese, and yeah, mostly Vietnamese stuff. Well, Leeks is not really, I can't claim that to be Vietnamese, but my mom likes eating leeks, and so I grew a lot of them. And there are onions as well. So in certain Buddhist tradition or spiritual religion, they don't like eating onions or garlic. It got to do with like the ineffectiveness of chanting. Now, we know from a medicinal perspective, onions, garlics, leeks, they're very much from the same family. And it boosts up the immune system. So what I can say is, I think from the perspective of you not eating because you have very bad body odor if you eat a lot of them, try to minimize as much as you can. But growing a garden in a variety is a worthwhile thing to do, because sometimes, I sometimes eat onions. I don't think it's a problem. I don't do chanting because a lot of the chants are in Vietnamese or in Pali, and I don't do a lot of those. So for me, I don't personally worry about it. The only mint that has reacquainted me back to Vietnam is this particular mint, right? It looks very similar to, those common mints. And if you live in the UK, some parts of Europe or Australia, you would come across Bunnings. Now, Bunnings is like a hardware store mixed with gardening stuff. So they sell a lot of things gardening-wise, and they sell a lot of plants as well. And they sell quite a few rare mints, or like variety of mints. They're not rare, but they don't sell this mint. This is called húng cây. It's very common in Vietnam. I remember from my childhood memory going back to Vietnam and tasting this for the first time. I thought it was very strange because I was used to the common mint and the spearmint. So those are what you find at the store, even Coles and Woolies, they sell them. But this mint, they don't have it. It has a very unique taste and smell. You can have it in cold rolls, and you can have it in soup as well. And because I've been growing like a lot of mint, for example, like chocolate mint, and just the common mints that if you grow next to rosemary or lavender, the taste, the actual taste itself, it's kind of like mixed in. It's no longer the authentic common mints or spearmint. So you have to be careful when you grow mints amongst other plants, because the flavor or the gene mix itself and you no longer get the authentic taste. So this type of mint, you can get them at Asian grocery. in the last 2 years or so, I noticed that a lot of like Vietnamese people sell this on Facebook, and also at the Asian grocery as well as a plant. It's not so commonly as like mint on the shelf, just as a plant. And I think more people are starting to get used to eating the this type of mint. Look what's happening. That's the noise. And then we'll move along here. Oh wow, look at this. So this is the garlic chives. The other thing that my mom doesn't eat, because she reckons it smells really bad along the line of onions and garlic, is garlic chives. And I think the more you get exposed to the spiritual community, especially the Buddhists, the Vietnamese Buddhists and the Taiwanese Buddhists, and maybe the Chinese Buddhists, you will come across a group of people that won't eat garlic chives either. These things are what you find in the soup and also in cold rolls. They're very easy to grow. Once you have them growing, you can just eat them, like harvest them again and again, and then it will regrow like grass. We grow a lot of them because it's easy. This is the summertime when the flowers start to come up, like here. There'll be a lot more flowers in a couple of weeks' time. And if you eat these budding ones, these are really sweet. Yeah. But once they get a little bit too old, you can buy them at the grocery market, like the Asian grocery. They're quite expensive in a bunch like this. But if you stir fry them and put them in noodles, very yummy. You can certainly collect the seed and grow them like germination. Very easy. Chuck it in some dirt and watch it grow. Very low maintenance. But if you want to get it like lush, put mulch on it, and you get things like this size. Otherwise, they're going to be small like this. Because they need plenty of water. And if there's too much sunlight, it needs to be under cover. It will look something like this. On the tip, like the yellow, it starts to yellow and dies off. So this is looking rather lovely and healthy. It's time for some sizzling pancakes, Vietnamese sizzling pancake. And sometimes, how you grow this is, when it gets too old, you just need to chop it all down and just lay it down, let it mulch itself, and the new shoot will come up. So, and it will be better for the plant. And you end up with roots that's like in a bunch like this, and you regrow them. And if you want to multiply them, this is what we did. You dig up the roots. They're like big tap root. And then you just like separate them and you plant them out, and it multiplies that way too. Yeah. I think at the shop they sell this for like $12 a kilo or something. So not cheap. It's like green grass. So beautiful. Anyway, the next part here. Some tomatoes. I'll pick some later today. And this is the Vietnamese spinach. Right? Another personal favorite of mine is the spinach. They grow so fast. Like my mom harvests this every few days. I love them in the soup. Usually people only eat this in the soup. You can eat them raw if you like. They like to climb. So that's why we grow it next to my mom cheap way of doing trellis. You just find this and you say this part here, and you just cut it, and it will grow really quick. Within if you just grow a small patch of this, you can feed pretty much a whole family. Every week you can harvest them, every few days I think. Very good for you also. Can't tell you because I haven't done enough research. But this is what you find typically in the Vietnamese garden, most Asian garden like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Burmese might grow these as well. And we're moving up to the bitter melons. How can we forget some bitter melon? We're a little bit behind on the gardening this year because we've been quite busy. So we don't have as much produce. This is the winter melon. I think this is what it is. So sometimes we just like have it on the ground, and maybe we'll have some winter melon soon. Some flowers there. Oh, I could be like totally wrong. Oh no, wait. I think it is. See that? Winter melon. It's furry. It's not lupus. And yep, another one I like eating. And my parents didn't grow as much eggplant this year. They didn't have much success in germinating. And I guess different life priorities kind of discouraged them from growing a lot this year. We didn't grow massive quantity, but we have enough for ourselves. Woo. Coming down here, got some more here and some more of these mint. Now I only bought like a bush about this much, right? And I popped it there, and my parents were like, no, we don't want to eat it because it tastes like the other mint. And then now I think they're starting to get more used to the flavor. Like they know about this because they grew up in Vietnam, but then they had the assumption that this tastes like the other ones that I grew next to the rosemary. So then they didn't want to eat it initially, but now they realize that this is the original Vietnamese mint. So they love it. They eat in a lot of cold roll soup. Some sort of noodle rolls and stuff, bowl. So now it's spreading everywhere. What else do we have? This is the yams that they're growing this year. It's coming around. Very pleasing. And the baby cassava is coming up as well. And Anne has bought some more papaya. This is, by the way, very medicinal. People use it to treat the leaves wise, and maybe also the flowers as well, to treat cancers. Now I'm not sure, don't quote me, whether it's liver cancer or other type of cancers or pancreatic cancers, but it's more or less a detoxing thing, because a lot of things in our body is the build-up of toxin. And when you detox your body, if you do it the right way, you will help to prevent cancer relapse and to prevent worse outcome with your disease. Sometimes it manages the symptom. Mainstream medicine is there for a reason. I said this before in the maroon bush, which is like a traditional Aboriginal bush medicine. But you can't reject traditional medicine, because I'm going to say this blankly, mainstream medicine will treat aggressively to the point where they give up on you. And then that is when people actually turn back to, not everyone, but some, turn back to traditional medicine. And then they realize that, oh, it actually prolonged my life a little bit more. And I've started to regain some of my health. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that do the wrong thing in both type of medicine tradition, but certainly do not reject things just because it's, not scientifically proven, because science can only offer you a certain level. So does spirituality. And when you are sick, you have to be the one who make the informed decision to see which path you need to take, or do you need to hold the hands of both traditional and the biomedical medicine that's available to you. So that is something on an individual base you have to make. And you have to accept the fact that as human beings, we're born into this world and we have to face our own mortality. So we can't live forever. So, yams. This will take about, when did I harvest it last year? I can't remember. Maybe around, is it June, July? Somewhere around there. May, June, July. Yeah. So it's doing very well. It likes the climb. And another thing we grow here is, this is not a very good example. You can see the ones over there are like old and dying, but it has lots of flowers and seed. Now this one here, these are the Vietnamese or Asian celery. Yep, very good in the broth. Smell amazing. Has its own very aromatic. You won't forget it. You can put it in stir fry. You can put it in soup. That's what I said. And maybe like salad too. All right. I think that's the end of the video. It's been long enough. Take care, everyone. Bye.